Did you know that over 75% of car breakdowns are linked to poor maintenance? Most people assume cars just wear out around 150,000 miles. But that's far from true. In today's video, we'll reveal how to make your car last over 300,000 miles without major repairs. We'll also bust a popular myth we've seen ruin hundreds of turbo engines. Watch till the end for a bonus tip that even seasoned car owners often forget, but can save you thousands. Let's kick off. Habit number 1. Don't follow the manufacturer's oil change intervals. On paper, the 10,000-mile oil change intervals sound great. Less hassle, less cost. But in real life, it can cost you an engine. Many manufacturers push longer intervals to make ownership look cheaper, especially during warranty years. But they're not the ones footing the repair bill after 100,000 miles. You are. Engine experts, seasoned mechanics, and drivers who've racked up hundreds of thousands of miles agree. 5,000 miles or every 6 months with full synthetic is the real sweet spot, especially if you drive in traffic, tow, or live in hot or dusty areas. Stick blindly to the owner's manual and you might save a few oil changes, but you risk sludge, worn seals, or worse, premature engine failure. That's a $4,000 repair that could have been avoided. Manufacturer recommendations are averages, not guarantees. If you want your engine to last, stop following the marketing. Manufacturers want to sell new cars, not make them last. While you're at it, there's another fluid change you can't afford to ignore. Habit number 2. Change your transmission fluid. Most drivers ignore their transmission until it starts slipping. By then, you're not fixing the problem, you're replacing the whole thing. Unlike engine oil, transmission fluid doesn't get topped off or changed regularly. It's sealed in and quietly breaking down mile after mile. And here's the trap. It still looks fine, cherry red, no smell. But after 60,000 miles, it's hiding a nasty secret. Microscopic clutch particles, metal shavings, and varnish that grind away at your gears like liquid sandpaper. If you wait for symptoms, you've waited too long. That's why smart owners do a drain and fill every 60,000 miles or 6 years, whichever comes first. What about hybrids? You can stretch it to 90K, but don't push it. Transmission repairs start at $3,000 and go up fast. But here's the exception. Never flush an old neglected transmission. You'll dislodge gunk that's holding it together. If it's been maintained, fine. If not, just drain it. And always use OEM fluid. For example, use Toyota WS for Toyotas and Honda ATF DW1 for Hondas. Generic stuff saves pennies and costs transmissions. Neglect the transmission, and the car may still start, but it won't go anywhere. I'll share a tip at the end of this video that will ensure you never fall behind on critical maintenance. It's an old school secret that takes a few minutes but saves thousands of dollars. Before then, habit number 3, coolant flush every 5 years or 50,000 miles. Most people think coolant is forever. It's not. And waiting 100,000 miles? That's a gamble you'll lose, expensively. Modern coolants are long life and come in pink, orange, yellow, and even blue. But after 5 years of heat cycles, they turn acidic. And once that happens, they stop protecting and start corroding. We're talking rotted water pumps, eaten seals, clogged heater cores, and worst of all, head gasket leaks. Have you been noticing white smoke from the exhaust? Misfires? Mysterious coolant loss with no puddle? That's your engine crying for help. Because the coolant you ignored has started eating from the inside out. It doesn't matter if you drive a Toyota, a Ford, or a hybrid with an electric water pump. Once that coolant breaks down, everything downstream is at risk. That's why the smart move is simple. Flush it every 5 years or 50,000 miles. Not 100,000, not 150,000. But 50. Coolant is cheap. Engines aren't. Change it before your car starts showing symptoms. Here's another thing you need to swap before it goes bad. Habit number 4. Replace the timing belt before failure. Be honest. When was the last time you even thought about your timing belt? Most of us are guilty of ignoring it until it's too late. But this small hidden belt controls some of the most critical parts of your engine. If the belt breaks while driving, the pistons can slam into the valves. This can destroy the engine and cost $2,000 to $5,000 or more to fix. Most cars need a new timing belt every 60,000 to 100,000 miles, or every 7 to 10 years, whichever comes first. Even if you drive little, the belt ages from heat, oil, and time. One thing I normally recommend is to never wait for a noise or warning. Timing belts usually break without any warning. Sometimes you might hear a ticking sound or see an oil leak near the belt cover, but most of the time, they just snap. Replacing the belt on time is way cheaper and safer than waiting for a disaster. While you're replacing the timing belt, you should perform the next task too. Habit number 5. Keep spark plugs fresh. Did you know that worn spark plugs can lower your fuel economy by up to 30%? Failing plugs create a weak spark, leading to poor fuel burn. This means more gas wasted and less power. Most cars need new spark plugs every 60,000 to 100,000 miles, but this depends on the type. Iridium plugs last longer than copper ones. I normally recommend checking your manual for the right type and schedule. However, I always tell drivers to watch for rough idle, slow starts, and weak acceleration. These are early signs that your spark plugs or ignition coils might be failing. Misfires are also common. Your engine might shake, and you might smell raw gas from the tailpipe. Also, if you pull out a spark plug and see oil or coolant on it, that's a red flag. Oil can leak from bad valve cover gaskets, while coolant leaks might mean serious engine damage. The best way to prevent these expensive repairs is to stay on top of your car maintenance. But don't stop at this video. Subscribe to our channel for more great advice that will show you how to look after your car like a pro and save a lot of money. Habit number 6. Replace fuel filter at recommended intervals. As you go about your daily drives, dirt, rust, and microscopic junk are quietly choking your fuel filter. The more it clogs, the harder your fuel pump works, until one day, it just gives up. A $40 filter swap could save you from a $500 to $1,000 fuel pump replacement. Most car makers recommend changing your fuel filter every 30,000 to 60,000 miles. For older cars, it's usually closer to 30,000 miles. Newer cars with in-tank filters can go longer, up to 100,000 miles. Pro tip: when changing the filter, remember to relieve the fuel pressure first by pulling the fuel pump fuse and running the engine until it dies. This stops fuel from spraying everywhere. And remember to always work in a well-ventilated spot. You don't want to find out how flammable gasoline fumes really are. The next tip that will help your car beat the odds is something most drivers never think about. Habit number 7. Brake fluid flush every 2 to 3 years. And how does brake fluid stop you from reaching 300,000 miles, you might ask? Simple. If you can't stop safely, you won't be driving that long. This one's a silent killer, especially for older cars. Because brake fluid is hygroscopic, over 7 to 10 years, brake fluid can soak up enough water to lower its boiling point by over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. New DOT3 brake fluid boils at around 401 degrees Fahrenheit and 446 degrees Fahrenheit for DOT4. When it absorbs moisture, the boiling point can drop to 284 degrees Fahrenheit or lower. In stop-and-go driving, your brakes can get hot enough to make old fluid boil. When that happens, air bubbles form, and your brake pedal can feel soft or spongy. This can increase stopping distance or cause total brake failure. You don't need a shop visit to check it either. A simple $22 brake fluid tester can tell you if your fluid is still good or if it's time to flush. Just dip it, press a button, and it'll read the moisture level in seconds. If it's over 3%, don't wait. We've linked the exact tester I recommend down in the description. Unless you're a seasoned driver, you've probably never done the next thing. Habit number 8, regular differential and transfer case service. Some of you might be wondering, what exactly are the differential and transfer case? Now, here's the part where you pay close attention. These components move power from the engine to the wheels, helping your car turn and grip the road. Over time, the heavy-duty oil inside these parts breaks down and gets dirty. For most rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive vehicles, experts recommend changing the differential fluid every 30,000 to 50,000 miles. So, how do you change it? Here's a quick step-by-step. Step 1. Locate the differential or transfer case, usually a metal housing on your axle or under the center of your vehicle. Step 2. Place a drain pan underneath and remove the drain plug to let the old fluid out. Step 3. Remove the fill plug. This is important so the fluid can flow out. Step 4. Once drained, replace the drain plug securely. Step 5. Use a pump to refill with the manufacturer recommended fluid until it starts to slightly seep out of the fill hole. Step 6. Replace and tighten the fill plug. It's best to have a mechanic or other car expert supervise you the first few times. Fortunately, you don't need a PhD to pull off this next tip. Habit number 9, check and clean mass airflow sensor. Your MAF sensor is usually located along the intake tube, right after the air filter box. It measures how much air is entering the engine so the computer can adjust the fuel delivery accordingly. Over time, dust and oil buildup on the sensor's delicate hot wires can throw off readings, causing the engine to miscalculate the air-fuel mixture. Symptoms of a dirty or failing MAF sensor include hesitation or stumbling during acceleration, rough or erratic idle, poor fuel economy, engine stalling or hard starting. Check engine light with codes like P0100 to P0104. Before replacing an expensive MAF sensor, try cleaning it first. It can save you hundreds of dollars. How to clean it safely. Step 1. Locate the MAF sensor along the intake tube near the airbox. Step 2. Disconnect the electrical connector carefully. Step 3. Remove the sensor or the housing, depending on your vehicle. Step 4. Using only the MAF sensor cleaner, spray the sensing elements thoroughly. Avoid using brake cleaner, carb cleaner, or WD-40. These can damage the sensor. Step 5. Allow it to air dry completely before reinstalling. Step 6. Reassemble everything and clear any codes if present. You can even connect an OBD2 scanner to measure grams per second airflow before and after cleaning to see the improvement. Watch our video on 11 bad MAF sensor symptoms to know more about this critical component. Habit number 10, replace PCV valve. The PCV valve keeps harmful vapors from building up inside your engine. Over time, this valve clogs or sticks, leading to oil leaks, high oil usage, and rough engine performance. Most automakers recommend replacing the PCV valve every 30,000 to 50,000 miles. A failing PCV valve can cause excessive crankcase pressure, which might blow out gaskets and seals. That will set you back at least $1,000. If the valve is stuck open, it can cause the engine to burn up to a quart of oil every 1,000 miles, especially in older engines. Replacing it is simple and cheap. A new PCV valve usually costs between $10 and $20. Here's how to do it. First, locate the valve. It's often near the valve cover or in the oil fill tube. Twist it counterclockwise to remove, then insert the new one and twist clockwise to lock it. Check the vent hose for cracks and replace it if needed. A fresh PCV valve helps reduce oil consumption, lower emissions, and keep your engine running clean. It's almost time to share our bonus tip, but up next is another habit that costs a little now, but saves you a lot down the road. Habit number 11, tire alignment every 15,000 miles, or when steering feels off. 35% of American drivers admit to delaying wheel alignment by at least a month. While some people don't see the benefit, others can't tell when it's due. So, how do you know when you need an alignment? If your tires wear faster on the inside or outside edges, it's a clear sign the alignment is off. For example, toe-in, when the front of the tires points toward each other, can wear the outer edge. Toe-out, when the fronts point away, eats the inner edge. Another sign is if the car pulls to one side when driving straight. Also, check if your steering wheel sits crooked when driving straight. That's another clue. Ignoring alignment issues can shorten tire life by up to 30% and hurt fuel mileage by up to 10%. Unfortunately, this is one thing you can't fix on your own. It's done by professionals with special machines that measure and set the correct angles. It usually costs $75 to $100. That's a small price to pay for a long-lasting vehicle. Now, let's discuss something a little controversial. Habit number 12, avoid cold revving. This is one of those hot debates among drivers. 3 camps, to be exact. You've got the start and drive folks, the let it idle forever crowd, and then the cautious ones stuck in between. So, let me clear this up once and for all. Cold revving is a fast track to killing your engine. When your engine is cold, oil is thick and settles at the bottom. It needs time to circulate fully and coat every moving part. Revving before that happens forces metal components to grind together with little to no lubrication. That's how you wear down critical parts like pistons, camshafts, and bearings way faster than you should. So what should you do instead? Simple. Start your car and let it idle for 30 seconds to a minute. That's enough time to get oil circulating. After that, drive gently. Avoid hard acceleration and keep your RPMs under 3,000 until your temperature gauge starts moving up. Some cars, like the Subarus, even have the blue coolant temperature light to show you when the engine is still cold. Once that light turns off, it's a good sign your engine is up to operating temperature. Cold revving is particularly brutal for turbo engines. Poor oil habits damage 90% of turbochargers, and this is one of them. Don't be in a hurry to warm your car, or it will cost you dearly. Habit number 13, wash undercarriage every season, especially in winter. Just like I said in the beginning, there's no best or least way to care for your car, only the right way and the wrong way. And skipping undercarriage washes is the wrong way. Never assume the dirt under your car isn't hurting anything. Out of sight doesn't mean out of danger. Road salt, mud, and grime build up fast, especially in winter. Salt speeds up rust. It eats away at metal parts like brake lines, suspension, exhaust pipes, and your car's frame. Rust can weaken these parts in just a couple of years if left untreated. Experts recommend washing your undercarriage at least once every season, but in snowy areas, do it monthly during winter. If you live near the coast, salty air and sand can do similar damage, so regular washes matter year-round. Before we wrap up, here's a bonus tip. One habit that separates car owners from car lovers is keeping a logbook. As a mechanic, I can't stress this enough. Every time you change your oil, rotate your tires, or replace a filter, write it down. Keep dates, mileage, and what you did. Why? Because when problems pop up, a good logbook helps you spot patterns. For example, If you see oil loss every 1,000 miles, that's a red flag. Or if your tires wear unevenly after 5,000 miles, you know to check alignment. Dealerships and shops love seeing well-kept logs. It shows you care, and they're less likely to push unnecessary services on you. Plus, when it's time to sell your car, a logbook adds value and builds trust with buyers. Don't rely on memory. A $2 notebook or a simple phone app can protect your car for years. Smart owners keep impeccable records. Now that you know the 13 essential habits to make your car last 300,000 miles, there's one hidden killer still lurking, and it's quietly wrecking your cooling system, even if you've done everything right.
And that brings us to the end of today's video. We've gone through some car care habits that many drivers overlook, habits that seem small, but can save you thousands of dollars and years of frustration down the road. But let's be honest. No single video can cover every situation. Every car is different, every driver is different, and sometimes even the experts don't completely agree. So here's where I'd love to hear from you. What's one habit or tip you personally follow that has made a big difference for your car? Is there something you think we missed that should absolutely be added to this list? Or maybe there's a point here that you're not completely convinced about. Share your thoughts, your questions, and even your disagreements in the comments. Because chances are, your experience could help another driver who's watching this right now. And if you found today's video useful, don't just stop here. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell, because in the next video we're diving into even more surprising habits that can either extend your car's life, or destroy it faster than you think. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Until then, drive safe, stay curious, and let's keep making every mile count together.